My God, I hate drugs.
Hindi natuloy ang pagbasa ng sakdal kay Senador Antonio Trillanes kaugnay sa kasong inciting to sedition. Ayon sa Branch 45 ng Pasay Metropolitan Trial Court, may mga nakabinbin pang mosyon ng kampo ni Trillanes para ibasura ang kaso. Hihintayin muna ng korte ang sagot ng prosekusyon. Ayon naman sa senador, harassment lamang sa mga taga-oposisyon ang layunin ng kaso. Nagugat ito sa privilege speech ni Trillanes noong nakaraang taon na humihimok umano sa mga sundalo na barilin si Pangulong Duterte.
Labor officials are set to announce new minimum wage rates this month to address increasing prices of basic goods and services. Is this really good news? Our extra media reports the move may force retailers like supermarkets to raise prices even more.
Labor Undersecretary Jing Para says new minimum wage rates will take effect across the country before June ends. This after Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello has tasked regional wage boards to study a wage hike as consumer prices jack up.
The wage board has already met and they're now coming up with their recommendation. So pretty soon, magkakaroon na po tayo ng issuance kung magkano ba yung itataas.
Para says regional wage boards will submit their final recommendations to Bello as soon as he returns to the country. But one thing is for sure, the proposed 750 peso legislated national minimum wage is a no-go unless passed by Congress.
Magkaiba-iba po yung mga region, no? Hindi po pare-pareho ang economic activity.
But an association of supermarkets says the wage increase may trigger a domino effect and force their members to slightly hike product prices. This is apart from their planned gradual price hikes spurred by the tax reform law.
So because of that, all will have to adjust their margins. When that happens, it's not just the manufacturer who adjusts their margin. Some operations like retail outlets may have to adjust margins too.
The association's president, Stephen Kua, also manages a supermarket near Welcome Rotonda in Manila. Kua says small and medium players like him are caught in the middle. Recently, they increased prices of their goods because of higher taxes. But higher prices also drive consumers to buy products from bigger players that offer the same at lower prices. So, they have no choice but to settle with moderate price hikes for less profit and downsize their operations.
So we're seriously considering closing this whole section para paupan na lang sa tao. We'll just get rental income na lang rather than carry all these products. We used to have 9 checkout counters. Now we have 5, no?
The Trade Department, just like the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, believes the inflation rate in general will go down in the coming months. The DTI is also appealing to manufacturers and retailers to stay within suggested retail prices.
Kung pwede po, maliit lang because this will be part of the computation sa minimum wage na itataas.
But for Kua, because of limited profits, the SRP can also potentially kill small and medium supermarket owners like him. Rex Remitio, CNN, Philippines.
The Philippines is among the world's top worst countries for working people. That's according to a survey of the International Trade Union Confederation Global Rights Index. The others in the top 10 list are Algeria, Bangladesh, Cambodia, Colombia, Egypt, Guatemala, Kazakhstan, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey. Among the common indicators of poor working conditions in these countries are mass arrests, state repression, the arrest of union leaders, and discrimination. 142 countries were evaluated due to, quote, intimidation and dismissals, violence, and repressive laws, unquote. The Philippines was also on the list last year. Keep your rain gear always at hand because it's officially the start of the rainy season. The Weather Bureau, Pagbasa, cites widespread rainfall recorded in most of its stations. Rains are brought about by the southwest monsoon. While Metro Manila will have widespread rains and thunderstorms in the coming days, Pagbasa says this will be followed by dry periods or monsoon breaks for up to 2 weeks. What triggered the southwest monsoon is Doming, which intensified into a tropical storm this morning. The storm continues to move northeast toward Japan and is forecast to exit the country this weekend. Pagbasa says Doming continues to enhance the southwest monsoon. So this weekend, expect moderate to occasional heavy rains that could trigger flooding and landslides in Metro Manila, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, the Bicol region, Western Visayas, and the provinces of Aurora, Bataan, and Zambales. The rest of Luzon and the Visayas will have cloudy skies with light to moderate rains and isolated thunderstorms. Mindanao will see isolated downpours because of localized thunderstorms. The Court of Appeals is firm. A Filipino drug mule on death row in Indonesia cannot testify against her alleged illegal recruiters unless she comes home. The Santo Domingo Nueva Ecija Regional Trial Court earlier allowed Mary Jane Veloso to send a testimony against her alleged recruiters, Cristina Serio and Julius Lacanilao. The appellate court, however, reversed this decision in December and denied a motion for reconsideration on Tuesday for lack of merit. The court says the government should instead convince Indonesia to allow Veloso to return temporarily to the Philippines to take the witness stand. Veloso was sentenced to death in October 2010 after Indonesian authorities found heroin in her suitcase. She was supposed to be executed in April 2015, but was granted a last-minute reprieve. The Senate and the House have yet to meet and reconcile their versions of the proposed Bangsamoro Basic Law in what's known as a bicameral conference committee. But this early, anxiety is building, especially for the Moro Islamic Liberation Front and the Bangsamoro Transition Commission that crafted the proposed law. Our senior correspondent David Santos tells us why.
In a forum in Makati, Bangsamoro Transition Commission Chair Gadzali Jaafar drops what appears to be a cryptic message.
In front of us are several options as revolutionary organizations.
He is responding to the question, what if the proposed Bangsamoro Basic Law or BBL doesn't make it through Congress again?
And as revolutionary leaders, we will choose which among those options in front of us most viable thing for us to do.
Asked if these options would include the Moro Islamic Liberation Front going back to its armed struggle, Jaafar would not say. But anticipation is building among the ranks of the MILF and in many communities in Mindanao. The Bicameral Conference Committee is set to meet on July 9 to 13 to reconcile their versions of the proposed BBL. President Duterte is expected to sign it into law on July 23rd. Jaafar and the BTC hope to be present during the BICAM deliberations. The version of the lower house is supposedly the closest to the original BBL draft. Presidential Peace Advisor Jess Dureza is telling stakeholders to manage their expectations.
It's either a Congress version or the Senate version. Or in some provisions, pag may magandang version si Congress at mayroong magandang version si Senate, pwede namin i-merge yun. But definitely, hindi kami makapagdagdag bawas doon.
The 2014 peace agreement was supposed to end the decades-long conflict in Mindanao, which is deeply rooted in the Moros' aspiration for self-governance, in recognition of their historical right to have their own identity. But resistance is still obvious, especially in Christian-dominated areas, where residents are considered migrants to Mindanao.
If you continue to mistrust us, to discriminate us, we can no longer control the leaders of the Moro after us. So pag nagpatuloy yung ganyan, treatment ng ganyan, can you blame becoming Moro after us?
This issue on trust is once again placed under the spotlight when lawmakers decide on the fate of the BBL next month. David Santos, CNN Philippines.
We appreciate all your online comments on our top stories tonight. Keep them coming to our pages at CNN Philippines. We're also live right now on Facebook. Well, here are today's global headlines. Heads up, Facebook users, your posts may have been compromised from May 18 to 22. About 14 million users of the social media site had their default sharing setting for all new posts set to public during that period. The bug occurred while Facebook was testing a new feature. The company's employees have already set all affected posts to private. These include those that people may have meant to share publicly. Affected Facebook users will see a message urging them to review their posts and a link to a list of what they shared on Facebook while the bug was active. Time magazine is out with another cover aimed at U.S. President Donald Trump. It shows Mr. Trump looking into a mirror to see his reflection decked out in royal garb. The caption reads, "King Me." The artist says this portrait gets to the heart of how Trump and his legal team have approached the past week and the past 500 days. It's a nod to President Trump's tweet this week that said he has the absolute right to pardon himself, but that he's done nothing wrong.